Hi everyone, Dale back here with Grand Forks Best Source, live on location at the River Cinema Grand Forks Comic Con at the Alara Center, joined by Dylan Jacobson of Brimstone Studios. Dylan, man, what a show. We're just in the opening hours here. How you got your booth set up there? We were just chatting with you a little bit ago. How's it been going so far?
We're getting very steady waves of people. The first panel just happened, so you could see folks getting ready to go to that, but it's already been pretty busy over there. I'm kind of shocked. A lot of shows the morning of the first day can be a little slow, but we're filling in pretty fast, so yeah.
Yeah, you got a nice little setup going over there, a lot of art, a lot of pinups and stuff. What can people give a little preview for what you got going on over there?
So I do a lot of comic work and pinup work, and I've got a bunch of comics I've worked on, as well as coloring books, and then oodles and oodles of original artwork. I don't normally bring all that out, but I was like, we're going to fill the table with originals. I sell all my prints with me, but if you want to buy something that's the original ink work on paper, I think this is a great opportunity for that. I do a lot of pinups drawn from models, so the stuff I work on is usually like I find somebody I want to draw, we come up with what kind of character they're going to be, and then I go through some posing options and we bring it to life. So like most recently I did a squonk, which is a cryptid from Pennsylvania. It's a little wrinkly, horrible creature, and I had to find somebody who's comfortable being drawn as like a wrinkly monster. But I'm like, no, don't worry, you're still going to be like beautiful, but like it's going to be a little bit more on the inside this time. So those things are a unique challenge for me in the style of work that I work in. But I've got a pretty wide array of work at my table.
Oh man, yeah, we saw a preview of it over there. It was quite the selection of stuff, and you did a lot of artwork for the show. I know you did some of the badge art and some of the other promotional art for the show.
Yeah. There's been a lot of work that goes into this show, and working with the folks that run it has been awesome. So putting together the badges is fantastic, and then they're also one of the big reasons they brought me in is to run the drink and draw tonight at 7:30, because I have a drink and draw that is like nothing you've ever seen before, and it usually gets pretty wild. So yeah.
Drink and draw at 7:30. I think that's at the tavern here, just connected to the Alara Center. Why don't you elaborate on that?
So if you stick around at the Alara Center and you walk indoors about a half a block, you'll see the Tavern United. We're going to be over there. Dylan's Drink and Draw is the official title because this is different than anything you've ever experienced. If you've gone to a Comic-Con before and done a drink and draw with like old guys who are going to come bring sketchbooks and everyone goes, ooh, wow, the professional in the room is the best artist. This is not like that. This is a game show in which everybody in the crowd does the drawing, and I bring in a panel of other artists who are going to judge your artwork and award prizes accordingly. But it's about being clever and being on theme, not necessarily being the best artist. So we have oodles of stick figures that win, which is why if you go over to the tavern right now, there's I drew up a sandwich board, but it's mostly lettering because the logo for Dylan's Drink and Draw is a stick character. Because it doesn't matter what you draw as long as you're clever and on topic. And it's a surprise like how many people win with the simplest things.
People get to unleash their true creativity there.
Yeah. We're very lucky to have a bunch of good artists here this weekend. So a feature that I don't always run is we have a feature called Champions, where there are other artists in the room who aren't playing, but you can purchase them in sort of an auction format, and they will draw for you. And not only does that, potentially increase your odds of winning a particular round, you get their original artwork at the end. So it's like, okay, cool. I got like Dave Wheeler from Mindwave Comics to draw the round for me, and that means I get his original artwork. One of the fun things about that is we have a few things that allow you to pay for stuff, but half of all of those funds tonight are going to go to charity, which is super awesome. Being able to have charities like Out and Proud, or Out and Loud, is that what it's called, here in town. We're teaming up with them. We're going to give them half of the proceeds that we make tonight. So, yeah.
That's very cool. What a great cause. And, we're chatting a little bit earlier here off camera, in case people want to find some of your work online, you do webcomics, comics, and all that. What's some materials people can look you up for?
So the easiest portal to find all my work is go to brimstonestudios.com. There's links to everything on there. But if you're like a big webcomics guy or person, you don't have to be a guy, you go to Webtoons, one of my favorite spots to grab new stuff. You can look up Brimstone Studios on there. I've got an adult comic called Violet 9, which is a throwback to Playboy's Mandy, which is all like pinup style comics. So that, that's a little bit more for grown-ups. And I've got one called This Is My Private Life, where everyone's a weird cartoon character, and it's stories from my life, but I don't name people. It's like if you recognize a particular piece of costuming or clothing, you might know who someone is, but it's little like anecdotes and experiences from my life. Otherwise, check out the internet, Google my name. I've been working with a lot of different publishers. Like we just got a book out called Big Guns, Stupid Rednecks, written by Austin Hamblin. That's where this your badge art's from, and that was through Source Point Press. So there's a lot of different publishers I've been working with lately. So yeah.
Well, best of luck to you on today's show. You got a lot of hats you'll be wearing. You'll be a very busy person.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend. So yeah, if you're in North Dakota, come out. It's going to be super cool.
That's Dylan Jacobson of Brimstone Studios here. Stay with us here on Grand Forks Best Source. More coverage to come from the River Cinema Grand Forks Comic-Con here at the Lara Center. Open to 6 p.m. today, and they'll be open tomorrow until, I think, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So check it out. Stay with us. More coverage to come here. GFBS live on location at the River Cinema Grand Forks Comic-Con.